Hi, Tamara. My name's Amy, and I'm the dietetic intern. How are you doing today?
I'm doing great, pretty busy as of recently, but doing great. It's a beautiful day. So
Yeah, it is a beautiful day. Any plans?
after this, I probably will just take my two sons to the park, play around a little bit, kind of wear them out so that they go to bed tonight at a reasonable time. But yeah, other than that, nothing too crazy.
Oh, how old are your sons?
One's 2 and one's 4.
Oh, that's a tough age.
Oh yeah,
Remember
terrible
that.
twos.
So why don't you start by telling me a little bit about why you're here today?
Yeah, sure. So, I am a diabetic. I'm type 1 diabetes. And, I've done a great job at, managing my levels and everything. I use an insulin pump. Most of my life I've used it and it's been a great, resource. It's never given me a problem. But I kind of noticed since I had my kids that my blood sugar, I feel like, hasn't been as manageable. And it's just kind of a bit out of control, honestly. And I'm just a little concerned, and I just don't really know if it's what I've been eating or if it's my schedule or the kids. I don't even know.
Yeah, so you mentioned that you're feeling like your blood glucose is a little out of normal. Are you basing that off of any recordings, or how often do you take your blood glucose?
I try to take my blood glucose a few times a day just to make sure. I've always done that, and I think that is definitely what has helped me kind of manage it the best. And yeah, like I've noticed in the mornings I wake up and just my fasting blood glucose before breakfast is like 300, and I don't really know honestly why. And then I'll take my blood glucose after I eat. The 2-hour rule, and again it's like upwards of like 600. It's just it's kind of alarming. I just don't really understand because I feel like my eating hasn't been anything really different. I mean, maybe some things are a little bit different, but I don't know. I don't get it.
Wow, yeah. Yeah, so when did this start? When did you start noticing that your blood glucose values were a lot higher than normal?
I guess it was shortly after my first son was born. Maybe a year or so after he was born, I started kind of noticing slight spiking in it. And I was just kind of like, oh, it'll resolve itself. And then 4 years later, it's still doing the same thing. And I have been like experiencing a lot of just like symptoms of hyper and hypoglycemia. That's what the doctor told me. That's why I'm kind of feeling how I am. So yeah, I just don't get it.
Yeah, do you want to tell me a little bit more about some of the symptoms you've been experiencing?
Yeah, I'm definitely super thirsty at times, and at times where I am super thirsty, I also really use the bathroom a lot, quite a bit. I just feel kind of weak, and I have sometimes I'll get a headache. I also get pretty sweaty, very very tired at times too, very fatigued. And my husband tells me sometimes that I look pretty pale. So yeah, I guess those are some.
Yeah, so that's not good. We definitely want to get that under control, get you back to feeling normal and get everything back in range. So, why don't you tell me a little bit about what you usually eat in a day? We're going to do, it might be easiest to just do a 24-hour recall.
Okay.
So, just kind of what you ate yesterday from when you woke up to when you went to bed. And also, just really quickly before we do that, what kind of insulin are you on? How often do you take it? You don't have to know the
Um,
specific name of it, just like do you usually take like one in the morning and then one before you eat?
yeah, so I'll take one kind of in the morning, and I've been doing that a little bit more recently, especially since I've noticed in the morning that my fasting glucose is definitely pretty high. So I'll take it in the morning, I suppose. And then yeah, I'm pretty sure. Oh, geez. Yeah, yeah.
All right. Okay. Um, all right, so that sounds good. So if you want to just go ahead and start talking about, what you usually eat.
Okay. So my day starts. I'm still a stay-at-home mom because my kids are just so young, so I just kind of stay home. My husband works. He is a construction worker, so he's always out, and he makes good money with that. But it is tough because I'm not working and we have 2 young boys, so it is tough a little bit for us. But once I had my kids, I learned that I qualified to visit the WIC centers and stuff, so I've been working pretty closely with them on,
That's
my
awesome.
food and my needs. So that's definitely really helpful. So, oh yeah, geez. So I guess I wake up, like I said, pretty early because my sons, get up, wake me up too. So I'll get up probably around like 8, maybe 7 o'clock. And, we kind of will just sit up in front of the TV and just kind of watch the news or watch some cartoons together. Sometimes I'll just give them a bath or something, depending on if they need it. And then we kind of eat around like 9:30, 10. I'll give them some, dry cereal in a bowl and they'll eat it. But me, I typically will eat 2 pretty, basic, just toast, or I'll toast a bagel, and I'll have some, butter, and I enjoy jelly. The farmer's market down the street makes a really, really great jelly. So I'll have some of that, a pretty generous amount, I guess, of both the butter and the jelly. Maybe about a tablespoon. I like to do on both pieces of the bagel or the toast. I'll put the butter and the jelly. I'd say, yeah, so I guess like 2 tablespoons of butter in total, not just on one piece. But then I'll have, I guess the same amount of jelly on both pieces of toast. And then along with that, I'll try to have some sugar-free kind of juice of some kind, which I heard was pretty good. Something I've been trying to do is just try to find different alternatives to use. And then we'll have like a little bit of a later lunch. I'll make them, the chicken tenders or something that we just pop in the stove and let them cook. And I definitely try to incorporate some vegetables. So I'll put some broccoli or some green beans or cauliflower on the side for them. And for myself, I typically will also just kind of have like some frozen kind of meals of some kind. Like I definitely really like what are they called? They're like little frozen things at the store that we buy. But pop them in the microwave, heat them up, and those typically have some sort of meat and either like mac and cheese side or mashed potato side. Again, with like some sort of vegetable. But if I don't eat those, I like to kind of cook myself a little fish fillet, and then I'll have a piece of bread or something with a little bit of butter on the side, and again, I'll just have a vegetable or a fruit to kind of just show my kids that vegetables are good. And then for dinner, I cook for, my husband and everything when he gets home. So I'll cook, chicken or fish. We try to stray away from the red meats because, they're not as good for you, not as heart healthy for you. So we'll just try to, I'll definitely have some fish or chicken or, just like ground chicken if we want to make, tacos or something. So I guess we love to have tacos. So I'll cook up some chicken and I'll shred it up and we'll put, the taco seasoning on it. And then, we use basic tortillas. I guess the tortillas are about the size of a plate. And, we'll put some cheese and we'll put some peppers and, onions and stuff on that. And then we don't really usually have a side unless it's like salsa or some kind of, maybe I'll make some sort of like queso dip or something. And then again, I'll just maybe have some of that juice or water. I also like to treat myself to, wine every once in a while with dinner. So that'll be like a glass or 2 for the wine. And then for like an evening snack, I guess me and my husband will share a bag of popcorn. Or I do enjoy ice cream, so I'll take the kids out for ice cream too. Like we love doing that, especially when my husband gets home, so we can all spend some family time together.
That's fun.
So yeah, so I guess that's pretty much what a typical day is like for us.
All right. So yeah, I feel like we got a lot of good information about, what your typical day looks like. It must be so crazy and hectic with the 2 kids at home. I mean, being a mom is a full-time job for sure.
Oh yeah, they definitely keep it interesting for me.
Yeah. So I just want to go back and clarify a few things just to make sure I got everything right and make sure we're on the same page. So for breakfast, you said you usually have the toast with butter and jelly. You said about 1 tablespoon of each, and you often drink the sugar-free juice.
Mm-hmm.
And then for lunch, you usually do like chicken tenders, and do you cook those in the oven?
Yep, yeah, I'll cook them in the oven. Yep.
All right. And then you said you eat a lot of vegetables. You like to, you said it's really important for you to show your kids, like, model that behavior about eating the vegetables.
Oh yeah, definitely.
So how many servings of vegetables would you say that you eat per day?
I try to eat, maybe between 3 and 4 servings between, if I'll, make eggs or something for breakfast, I'll put, make a veggie omelet of some kind. Or, for lunch with, if I make the filet fish, I'll, saute it with, butter and onions and stuff like that. Um,
Yeah,
so yeah, I guess I try to incorporate, four to
that's
five
good.
servings.
That's awesome. Yeah. So, and then for dinner, you said you usually have, you guys like tacos, you eat a lot of chicken and fish, you don't eat a lot of red meat.
Mm-hmm.
So when you make that, you also use, how do you cook the chicken?
Typically on the stove, or we bake it. Same with the fish and stuff like that. We'll just toss it in the oven, bake, and put it on a baking sheet and stuff.
Yeah, do you often use any other appliances?
Um, we have a toaster, but it's kind of old, so we don't really. I'm afraid to use it sometimes, honestly. But it still works, But you got to kind of push it down twice to get a nice, good, even toast. We have a microwave, and we have a fridge that has a freezer attached to it, and then we have an electric oven. So yeah.
Yeah, all right. And then you said you usually, how many tacos do you usually have at dinner?
Me, I'll probably have two to three, maybe.
And then at night, do you always have like a dessert or a snack at night? You said you guys
Um,
usually go out to ice cream or do something as a family.
yeah, sometimes like we'll go out and get ice cream maybe 2 times per week. But I try to, I only get, maybe one scoop on a cone or something like that. My doctor mentioned that it's okay to have a little spike in blood sugar to hold me through the night so I don't,
Yeah,
wake up with, any of these symptoms. But lately, like I mentioned, it hasn't really been helping, and I still experience them and stuff. So
yeah,
yeah.
that must be really frustrating to like not really understand what's going on,
Yeah,
especially if
definitely.
it's causing all these symptoms and you're trying to watch your kids. I can imagine that's extremely crazy. Do you do any outside activities with your kids or do they keep you pretty active?
Well, I would like to take them out, but as of recently, I'm just like I get so tired, or I'll have like these random, spurts of I'm just hungry, or I just have to use the bathroom all the time, and I'm so thirsty, and it's like I want to get outside with my kids and do all these fun things with them and stuff like that, but honestly, half the time I just don't feel up to it anymore
Yeah,
physically.
so you feel like these symptoms are really having a negative impact on your life and
Yeah,
even your kids' life and stuff like that. So we definitely want to get this figured out.
yeah, definitely.
Have you noticed any changes in your weight in the past year?
I feel like I have kind of put on a little bit of weight. Maybe that's just because I've been kind of with the kids, maybe a little bit of stress eating, and they don't eat. Aside from me trying to, give them like vegetables and stuff, I do still buy them, like those funner foods that they can have. So I guess that kind of, just as much as I rub off on them, they rub off on me. So
Yeah, I
yeah.
can understand that.
So
Definitely. So how often are you the one who usually cooks and does the grocery shopping? I know you said that you're more the stay-at-home mom and your husband is the construction worker. So
mhm.
you usually are cooking most of the meals and grocery shopping.
Yep. I do the grocery shopping and the cooking. Yep. My
So
husband's
how
the one
often?
doing that.
So how often would you say you go? Do that.
Um, oh well, I guess I go maybe once every 2 weeks or so. And I try to be very cost efficient because again, it's just we want to make sure we spend our money smartly and stuff. Even though we do get kind of some assistance, I just want to try to save up as much money as we can too for the boys for when they go to school. So So yeah, once every 2 weeks or so, and I'll try to keep it under $150 if I can.
Yeah. And do you feel like you're successful in, maintaining your budget and also getting enough food for the family? You're having any trouble with that?
There are times where I get a little nervous, like, we're gonna run out of food before I typically am gonna go grocery shopping again. So I do get a little bit of anxiousness, but my husband always assures me that, it's okay, just, go shopping now, get what you need, get what we need and stuff. But, it's just always in the back of my mind, money is always an issue and stuff like that. So,
Yeah. And you mentioned you were receiving some sort of benefits from, are you receiving them from the state?
yeah, I go to the WIC clinics, and stuff. So, yeah.
Yeah. All right. That's awesome. So I definitely want to follow up and talk more about, your diet and everything, but I also just want to mention that you should probably see your healthcare provider, your primary physician, because some of these symptoms can be pretty dangerous, and you definitely want to make sure that you're on top of them. I
Okay.
also just wanted to um, double check. So you do eat drink the sugar-free juice a lot. Do you drink a lot of fluids or?
Yep, I'll drink, like I said, because I'm so thirsty. I'll drink a good amount of water. I have, a water bottle, like it's called an Nalgene, and it fits about 32 ounces of water. And on days where my symptoms are really, really acting up, I'll go through, 3 of those and drink all of them.
That must be really frustrating and annoying.
Especially when I got to use the bathroom every 5 minutes. Yeah.
Yeah, especially with such young kids. So we definitely want to get you in within the next week um, to your doctor, just to make sure that everything is okay with your symptoms, because we don't want, your blood sugar to get too out of control, and we don't want something to happen to you when you're with your young kids. That I'm sure you're pretty anxious about that.
Absolutely.
Yeah. And then we can just follow up next time after you see your doctor. We can just, see what adjustments we can make to your diet to, it may be something with your insulin or your medication. So we just want to double check with that first, and then we'll definitely um, continue up. I feel like I got a lot of good information about your regular habits and just about you in general. So um, what would you say, 2 weeks we can meet again?
Yeah, that sounds great. Absolutely.
All right. That's awesome. Thank you.